It's that time of the day again where you join me, Rolene Marks, right here on the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, for your latest headlines from Israel. Now, many of you complain to me, quite rightfully so, that you don't see a lot of what I talk about covered in the mainstream media. Well, we've got you covered, guys. This is why we have the Israel Brief. Not only so that you and I can catch up every day, but so that we can take a look at those stories that you do not get. So it is day 258 of Israel's war with Hamas, which started on the 7th of October, following the invasion and atrocities committed by terror organization Hamas. Now, last night, quite a controversial conversation around the question, can Hamas effectively be eliminated? Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, who is the IDF chief spokesperson, says that without an attainable goal, or without an attainable idea or alternative to governing the Gaza Strip, there's no way that Hamas can be effectively eliminated, because Hamas is an idea that lives in the hearts of Gazans. And this has created a lot of controversy, and the Prime Minister responded by saying that the military goals remain the total elimination of Hamas's military and governance capabilities. But what did the Rear Admiral actually mean by his comments? He didn't say that there's no way that they can take out Hamas, because the IDF has destroyed nearly all of Hamas's battalions. What he meant was that the ideology of Hamas, what is written in their foundational document that calls for the genocide of the Jewish people and the state of Israel, is an idea that lives within the hearts and the minds of the Palestinians. So effectively, to destroy Hamas, we can do that militarily, but we also have to take into account the day after this war ends, what happens then? Who will govern the Gaza Strip? What kind of education system will they have? What role will organizations like UNRWA, who've largely been responsible for perpetuating this idea of refugee status, what role will they have in the future of the Gaza Strip? Hamas has commented on it, saying that Hagari's comments were proof of Israeli intransigence, he called them, and he said that this proves that Hamas will play a role in the political future of the Palestinians and certainly the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, earlier today, in a joint statement from the IDF and the ISA, that's the Shin Bet, they announced that they had eliminated Hamas sniper and commander of the attacks of the 7th of October, Ahmed Hassan Salame al-Suwarka. Last night, Canada announced that they have declared the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps to be a terror organization. They say this is based on strong and compelling evidence, and that they will use all tools at their disposal to ensure an end to their terror activity. Other states like the United States have designated the IRGC as a terror organization. Iran, of course, has condemned this decision taken by Canada, saying that this will have no effect on the ground. Earlier today, Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz welcomed the decision, saying that the IRGC must be held accountable for the atrocities and the terror that they have committed in the Middle East and around the world. The Wall Street Journal are reporting that, according to an official who has seen the intelligence around the hostage negotiations, that he believes that only about 50 of the hostages are still alive. And he says that it is believed that about 66% or 66 of the hostages that remain in custody or in captivity are believed to have been killed by Hamas, and this is about 19 more than originally estimated or made public to the Israeli people. The Directory of Intelligence has declined to comment on this, and Israeli officials as well as the IDF have declined to comment on this. As we said earlier, Hamas still holds about 120 hostages captive. On the 7th of October, they took over 250 hostages. Over 100 managed to be released in a hostage negotiation deal. The IDF have rescued 6 hostages, actually 7 hostages alive. I forgot about Captain Ori Megidish, who was rescued at the beginning, and unfortunately have recovered the remains of many other hostages who have been brought back to Israel for a dignified burial. Speaking to the BBC yesterday, former hostage Adi Saga said that her belief in peace between Israelis and Palestinians has been absolutely destroyed. Adi was one of the hostages that was released in that November deal towards the end of last year, and she said that she was held also by civilians and guarded by students, Palestinian students, who received 70 shekels a day. And she says everything has been destroyed. Her home, her belief system in peace, everything has been destroyed. And finally, the Famine Review Committee have published their updated report on behalf of the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification. That's a very long name. And they have said that they reject claims of a famine in the north of the Gaza Strip. They say that the claims of Gaza famine and are not cannot be concluded, and I'm going to read you a little bit from their report. They say the report rejected FEWS, the Famine Early Warning System Network's claims of Gaza famine, determining that these reports bluntly ignored between as much as 38% to 49% of food deliveries to Gaza, and concluded that it does not find the FEWSnet analysis plausible. This report has been ignored by UN agencies, including the World Health Organization, which continue to echo the Gaza famine campaign. So there you have it. This is something that the IDF has been speaking about for months, that the aid is getting into the Gaza Strip. There is no famine in the Gaza Strip, and that is just yet another fallacious campaign to demonize the state of Israel. And as I said to you guys yesterday, this is yet another example that has been completely debunked by the facts on the ground. And earlier today, COGAT, which is the IDF unit responsible for the humanitarian aid, have called on the United Nations to scale up the collection and distribution. They said that there are over 1,000 trucks waiting for collection and distribution on the Gazan side of the Kerem Shalom crossing. And yes, we understand that the UN have expressed that it is difficult because there is general lawlessness amongst Palestinian civilians. But COGAT have said at the J-Lots distribution and collection depot, there are over 100 pallets of aid also waiting to be collected. So that brings me to the end of the headlines. Now let's dive into the questions. And the question comes from Karen in South Africa. She said, do the mothers of the Hamas rapists feel anything, have any disgust? Well, unfortunately, Karen, the answer to that is no. And we saw evidence of this when some of the footage of the atrocities was released along with some of the communication. And one of the communications that was made public was a Hamas terrorist phoning his parents saying, I killed 10 Jews, I killed them with my own hands, and hearing their celebrations. And we know that the parents of these Hamas terrorists have not condemned what they have done. In fact, they have celebrated, calling those that were killed in exchanges of fire martyrs and heroes. And, this goes back to the point I made at the beginning of this broadcast by Rear Admiral Hagari about, how Hamas actually lives in the hearts of Palestinians, that they believe in this hatred, in this kind of rhetoric, and certainly those kinds of actions. And, it will take a lot of work and a lot of commitment from the international community to ensure that what happened on the 7th of October, that there is no environment that creates all of the systems that carried out these atrocities. So on this really boiling hot day, it is the end of the week. My brain is absolutely fried. It is very hot here, very, very humid. I'm going to do what I did earlier this week and stick my head back in the refrigerator. But before I do that, I want to remind you of our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook community is at Lottel's site. Welcome to our new community members. We are on YouTube at The Israel Brief. Hit that red subscribe button, and on X at Lay of the Land 5. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Please send me some cooler weather, and I will see you again on Monday. Bye for now.